T.A.G, very nice, very evil.
That's T.A.G shit.
Free fall as I die through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama, I don't really.
What up, T.A.G Nation? It's your boy ScooterRay, aka Scoot, and I'm here with another episode of NXT.A.G. Now, I'm not on camera today because I'm somewhere different, and I still need to bring y'all this heat. You know, I want to keep this up episodically, so I'm here. So you won't see the handsome face, as Dizzle say, but you can hear the immaculate voice. And you know, if you want to see the handsome face in animated form, you know what I'm saying? That's me right there, with the headband and the glasses. Yeah, it needs to be updated since you know the hair isn't there anymore, but you know, the glasses and the beard is still there. But let's get into it. All right, so tonight's NXT. This is on the road to Vengeance Day. Vengeance Day is a day after Valentine's Day. It's their next PLE, and you could tell they're building towards it. They're building towards it. They're kind of not necessarily tying up loose ends per se, but you could tell that they're doing some things to set up what's going to happen at Vengeance Day. So, absent from tonight is Corey Graves. If you didn't know, Corey Graves sent out a tweet, and we don't know if it's storyline wise or if it's his true feelings, but basically he's feeling undervalued and underappreciated in essence. And he wasn't there on NXT tonight, so we don't know. We don't know what's up with Graves at the moment, but he wasn't there, so of course it was still Vic and Booker. And the first thing we get is the new NXT men's champion, Big Oba, Big Femi, aka the ruler, aka no bread, no water, just meat. Now, of course, when I'm not on camera, I can hit it perfectly. Ain't that some shit? But he comes out there basically saying that, hey, I told y'all I was gonna win this. I told y'all. Y'all didn't want to believe your boy. But I told y'all I was walking out with that NXT championship, and here I am. Bam. And Tony D comes out to interrupt. And Tony D is basically like, yeah, congratulations and all, but don't forget, I am the last person to beat you. So, you know, say the word, I could become Tony two titles. I mean, he didn't say Tony two titles. I forgot what he said, but I like Tony two titles better. So he was like, I could become, you know, Tony two titles with the North American and the NXT. And then Oba was like, look, you sitting here worrying about me. You need to be worrying about it. Last time we saw you, you was dropped by Santa Claus, aka Ridge Holland. And he was like, I'm gonna worry about Ridge when I worry about Ridge. Well, Ridge music hits. Ridge comes out there and was like, hey, Tony, you know what I'm saying? You popping off. Let's do it. So they kind of started scuffling. And then Eddie Thorpe attacks Oba from behind and left him there. And that's pretty much how that segment ended. But to just kind of fast forward some things, next week we're gonna get Ridge Holland versus Tony D, because there was a segment where they was fighting in the parking lot. Y'all know that NXT parking lot is a dangerous place to be. But they was fighting in the parking lot. So for the North American Championship, we're gonna get Ridge versus Tony D. And Oba went to Ava and was like, nah, no, 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 no. See, we ain't gonna keep doing this. I'm getting tired of Eddie Thorpe. Book the match, me and Thorpe, for this championship, and I promise you, I'm gonna get rid of this dude. And Abel was like, no, and he was like, look, I'm the champion. I'm saying give man's title match. So, excuse me, pardon me. So next week for the NXT championship, Big over versus Eddie Thorpe. We'll see. Now, the first matchup of the night, it was to determine who is going to be the number one contender for Fallon's Women's North American Championship. We had Stephanie Vercure versus Shotzi, and I don't like how this is going, and I don't like how it went. And I'm only assuming they're doing this for a bigger payoff. I'm gonna assume it's for a bigger payoff, and when I get to it, you'll understand. So Stephanie won a fatal four way to determine number one contenders. In a 6-woman tag, Shotzi did pin the champion. So I get the aspect of Shotzi saying, hey, I just pinned the champ. I should get a shot. But at the same time, Stephanie just won a match to determine. So it was like, I get it, but technically, Stephanie won a match. I understand Shotzi's plight and Shotzi's, reasoning, but it's like, I just won a match though. So I don't care about you just pitting a champ. But they had that one-on-one contest. Some shenanigans and some chicanery came due to fatal influence, which ultimately led to Shotzi getting the dub. So in 2 weeks, Shotzi will be taking on Fallon Henley for the Women's North American Championship. And the only reason why I said it the way I said it, because I'm going to assume maybe Vengeance Day, it's probably going to be Stephanie versus Fallon. And maybe Stephanie might go ahead and get that belt up off Fallon. But we shall see. There was a segment back there with the ladies, mainly surrounded with Kalani Jordan, her still, she's still on the quest of she doesn't want to be considered as a little sister. She's a grown woman. She wants to be seen as such, as treated as such. I'm a grown woman. And essentially, all of her segments are all the same. It's all people trying to give her some type of advice or try to basically say, hey, chill, calm down. Then it kind of turns into a no, don't tell me. Da, 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 da. But it was the same thing because I want to say it was Zarya and Soul trying to, be like, hey, take your losses, fuel it, get better, and you know what I'm saying? Come back bigger, better, stronger, type of thing. And then eventually Cora Jade was the one to get up in her face, and Cora Jade was like, look here, I understand you won the women's North American champion. You was first and this, that, and the third, but I'm pretty much telling you, I'm gonna be the one to win a title before you win another one. And essentially, I'm gonna just shut you out. And eventually that led to them getting into a match later on in the evening. So yeah. We get All Ego Ethan Page versus Dante Chen. This kind of happened because Chen and I forgot the other gentleman's name who Chen was talking to. But they was talking in the back about, what happened to Javon and what happened to Cedric. And then All Ego heard it and was like, what you gonna do about it, Chen? So that's what led to this. Pretty standard match. Ethan Page gets the dub. And just like what he did to Javon, just like what he did to Cedric, he took Chen's boot off, put it in the steps, kicked it to hurt his foot and ankle. Now, I'm not saying NXT is purposely doing this, but if you're looking at it, the optics look wild. That Ethan Page has beat up and potentially injured Javon Evans, Cedric Alexander, and Dante Chen. And if you don't know what I mean, think about the three names. And that's all I'm going to say. And that's all I'm going to leave it at. I'm just saying, it's making Ethan Page look a certain way. But that's my brain. Maybe others may see it as, but I'm just saying. Javon Evans, Cedric Alexander, Dante Chin is looking away. It's looking away. So after he did what he did to Chin, Javon comes out. They get into a little scuffle, and all Ethan Page did was just hit him in the jaw, and Javon dropped. It was over. It was over. Like over. So we'll see what happens left. And all egos quest to hurt people of a certain pedigree. Will say people of a certain pedigree. But it's looking away. All I'm saying is, Ethan, it's looking away. You maybe need to beat up on a white dude. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Beat up on a white dude. in a in a big segment, we get Oba walking. Dion Lennox is saying, "Hey, Oba, one day I'm gonna challenge you for that belt." Oba looking like, "Man, you can get your ass." And Dion was like, "Yeah, one day." Then it led to Spears talking to Rizzo like he's trying to recruit Rizzo, and basically was like, "Yeah, you know, you with Tony and everything, but what's Tony doing for you?" And this, that, and the third. Then it spun off to, well, Izzy Dane comes up and was like, "Why you keep talking like she doesn't want to? I don't want to." Then it spun off to Adonis, Ashanti the Adonis, talking to Carmen Petrovic, and they make it official. He hands her a rose. They get a little kiss, and boom. I guess they're gonna officially be a couple. Jeez, I am so glad that all of that is done with Ashanti and Carmen, because my goodness, they must be a couple for real or something. I don't know, but all of this, him chasing her, she chasing him, he mad, she mad. Will they? Won't they? Finally happened. Now let's see what this goes for. Let's see what happens with this going forward, because you didn't let this happen for almost 2 months, possibly even longer. So hopefully, let's just see where this goes with Carmen and Ashanti. My goodness. Then it led to a women's tag team, women's number one contenders for the tag team championship. No, I might have said that all jacked up, but hey, you had the Meta Girls of Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson versus the unholy union of Alba Fire and Isla Dam. Yep, I didn't say Dawn, I said Dam. That's what we call her around these tag parts. That didn't sound right either. That's what we call her around the tag nation, Isla Dam. This was a match. These four ladies went out there and had them a match. Like, you would have thought this was for the championship almost, the way they was out there going at it. And ultimately, and I'm just saying, Booker said it himself that the Meta Girls are main roster ready. MRR. And I've been saying since I started this that the Meta Girls were main roster ready. You can't see me, but I'm doing the Drewski, hands in the air. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But with a nice little sequence, the Meta Girls get the dub. Now, they didn't announce when the Meta Girls are going to get that title shot, when or where, but Lash and Jakara are next up to get a tag team title match against Bianca and Naomi. So expect that to go down soon. I would, you know what? To be fair, it would be pretty legit if they do it at Saturday night's main event. Because right now, for Saturday night's main event, we have Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have oh my god, they just announced it Monday. And I literally just forgot that fast. Oh, Sheamus versus Braun. Excuse me, Sheamus versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. So, excuse me, why not go ahead and do Bianca and Naomi versus the Meta Girls for Saturday night's main event? Why not? Why not? Then backstage we got DIY. You know what I'm saying? SmackDown's tag champions, and they just like, hey, we want to see these Fraxian boys. You know, we've been hearing a lot about these Fraxian boys and how they supposed to be NXT's greatest tag champs, and it's like that can't be. Now when we here, so they was like, look, we promise no shenanigans, no shenanigery. So we just want to see what's up with them Fraxian boys. And I love how the code name of them is Fraxium, but officially their tag team name is still Nathan Frazier and Axiom. You know, hey. Then we get a segment of Lexus King. He officially gets his plate put on the Heritage Cup, and Ren and Dempsey comes, and Ren is like, King cheated, and Dempsey was like, no, he didn't cheat. It was in the guys. He didn't low blow me on purpose, and this, that, and the third. So, in all, it led to them announcing that at some point it's going to be a rematch. They didn't say when the rematch was happening, but we're going to get Lexus King, Charlie Dempsey, Heritage Cup rematch. So, yeah. Like as I mentioned earlier, Tony D and Ridge fighting in the parking lot, which ended up leading to their match. Then we get to the next match of Kalani Jordan versus Cora Jade. Like I said, Kalani is tired of being little sister. She's been tired of being, this, that, and the third. She is a grown woman. She wants to be treated like a grown woman, and she gonna show y'all why she's a grown woman. Pretty standard match between these two ladies. Ultimately, it led to Cora getting the dub. I can't remember if she did something underhanded or not, but Cora gets the dub. And to be fair, they're in the process of building up Cora again since she's back. So I can see why she gets the dub. And I don't know what ultimately is getting weird what they're kind of doing with Kalani, in my opinion, because I understand they don't want her to be a white meat baby face, as the term could be, but her demeanor doesn't scream a bad girl or scream a heel. Not saying that they want to turn her heel. I don't think they want to do that, because she really doesn't give off a heel vibe unless she just completely 180s and just huh, I'm heel. You know what I'm saying? But her being like, I don't want to be little sister. I want to be treated like a grown woman and this, that, and the third. It's like, it's cool and all, but to me, of course, this is to me, it comes off very whiny and comes off very like, girl, sit down. Like, sit down. Sit down. But I said, Kalani's not bad. It's just what they're doing with her character at the moment. I'm just like, sit down. Down. Then we get I totally forgot. During this match, they show TNA's women's champion Masha Slamovich in the audience. So obviously the crossover is still here. If Masha Slamovich was in the audience, the crossover is still very much alive, especially within the women's division. So we will see where that goes, because I'm intrigued to see, you know, what they may do in 2025, with some of the crossover things here and there. So we'll see. Maybe from the fact that she was watching that match, I wouldn't be surprised if we probably get Masha versus Cora. Now I don't know if it's gonna happen on NXT TV or Impact, but I could see them go ahead and doing that, especially since she was watching their match in particular. Next, we get a segment with Fraxium talking to Josh Briggs and Inamura. And Briggs and Inamura are basically was like, look, we saved y'all from the fray and the fracas and the scuffles that was happening with all the tag teams. So y'all owe us. And they're like, look, all we saying is we got next. And then OTM walks up and OTM is like, how y'all got next? Because y'all could be talking to the former champions after tonight. Excuse me, sorry about that. Y'all could be talking to the former champs after tonight. And Fraxium kind of just walks off and OTM gets into a scuffle with Briggs and Inamura. And it was like, wait, that ain't fair that they're going to get into a scuffle before they tag team match, which happened to be next for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Fraxium is defending against OTM. Now, for weeks, I've been saying, I think OTM is going to be the ones to go ahead and get them belts up off of Fraxium because they've been there. They've been kind of poking around. They've been kind of pause. They've been kind of being a thorn in Fraxium's side. And this was literally the ultimate match of Big Burly Boys versus the Lightning Quick Fast Boys. You know, the brawn in the brain versus the speed in the brain. You know, and how is it going to fare? And it was definitely a David versus Goliath match because both of them boys put together was like Lucian or Bronco, if we be fair. But pretty standard, pretty decent. Ultimately, it led to Fraxium retaining. And once again, had I known, if you really wanted to turn Fraxium into the new Kendrick in London, my bad. My bad, Fraxium. So obviously they want to do Fraxium versus DIY. Now I don't know if it's gonna be a title for title or just to prove who's the best tag team. I don't know necessarily what's going to be the logistics. And of course, now with Briggs and Inamura calling next, calling their shot. I guess we'll see what happens, but I'm assuming we're gonna get Fraxium versus DIY. Maybe they'll try to save it for Vengeance Day, which is a whole nother month. Maybe. But Fraxium versus DIY is happening soon. You know, knock on wood, no injuries or anything, but it's happening soon. In the final segment of the night, before we see a person getting out of a car, you could tell it was a woman. You see a person getting out the car, and all they showed was the boots. Then you had Roxanne in the ring talking because basically she's like, you know, everybody's wondering what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and this and the third. And she was like, it was good being champ, you know, second time around and this and the third. But she was also saying that um she was giving gratitudes and things. And of course it didn't last long because it flipped the script like, what this women division gonna do without me? You know, I've been the one holding it down. I've been the one doing this. What this women's division gonna do without your girl Roxanne? You know, y'all really think under Julia, this division is gonna grow. This division is gonna do this, and you know, I didn't need a horsewoman. I didn't need this, and then we hit the music of the role model, and unfortunately, you can tell they was pressed for time and they really couldn't get the segment out the way they wanted to. You can tell. But ultimately it led to Bailey being like not Bailey saying, look here, Roxanne, you being a little too bratty, you know, what's up with you and things like that. And Roxanne was like, look here, all of y'all people who used to be my role models and I look up to, I don't need y'all anymore. I don't need you. get away from me in essence. And then ultimately it led to her and Bailey getting into a scuffle. And that's how the show went off the air, with Bailey and Roxanne getting into a scuffle, which is going to lead to a match. Um, Maybe they do it before Vengeance Day because that'll be a long time to try to sell it. But it led to those two ladies getting a scuffle. And more, it's showing me that if Roxanne gets a rematch against Julia at Vengeance Day, that's definitely going to be it for Roxanne. If she don't get a rematch, then she's definitely getting called up sooner than later. But yeah, that was NXT this week. Like I said, we on the road to Vengeance Day. We setting up some things so that way we can get the final payoffs. Like it wouldn't surprise me that we may get Trick and Oba for the NXT Championship. Something with the tag team champions. Like I said, maybe we may do a specialty DIY versus Fraxium. Maybe a rematch between Julia and Roxanne to go ahead and break the rubber. They'll have a rubber match because they are technically 1-1. Maybe Stephanie versus Fallon. Who else? We'll see. Maybe a surprise, Ethan Page versus Javon Evans or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But we are on the road to Vengeance Day, and your boy is strapped in. I'm buckled up, and I'm on the ride. Shout outs to my tag brethren, the Tag in the Bank briefcase holder and current predictions champion, Lip Dizzle, who is taking the month of January off as we, myself, Jaeger Bombastic, So Fantastic, and Juggernaut 097 are competing in the January Classic to determine what numbers we can pick for the Royal Rumble. Because the winner of the Tag Rumble gets that one-on-one opportunity with the champ for Mania weekend. And your boy is trying to win this January Classic because I need to get back what's mine. So I can go ahead and get Lucky 13. Lucky 13. But shout outs to my tag brethren. Shout outs to y'all out there. Sorry once again I couldn't be on video to where you can see me. You're just listening to me. But hey, at least this time around, you could just turn the video on and just go do some stuff while you just listen to your boy. But whether you loved it or hate it, don't forget to rate it thumbs up, thumbs down, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified for when we post videos. Shout outs to UniCookies. It's at Eat UniCookies on their socials. There's a link in the description if you want to order some UniCookies. And basically, to give you an overview, it is macaroon stuffed cookies. And them cookies was fire. Order you some, get you some, and enjoy yourself. And get a glass of your favorite beverage to eat with the UniCookies. Because they delicious. Thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, just imagine it. If you've been here or if you're new here, we usually sign off the videos with the too sweet. So just imagine in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bow. Too sweet to y'all. Thank y'all. Love one another. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another and love yourself more importantly. And until next time, Tag Nation, tag out. Peace.